Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I very welcome my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. If you're feeling charitable, please smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at MoviesTVMad, and welcome to Saturday's edition of the DCEU Daily. Buckle up! Let's go. So I want to start off this video very profoundly thanking AT&T, hbomax, and of course Warner Media for allowing Zack Snyder finally to show us his vision of his Justice League movie. Now, a lot of people are trying to educate us, saying you guys at AT&T, Warner Media, and hbomax are only doing this because of business reasons. And of course, you're business people. You want this platform. This is a very important thing for you. You're going to launch it. You want it to make money. And of course, it's a financial decision. You have every right to make these decisions. You know, call me old-fashioned, but you want to make money and you want more and more people to subscribe to your streaming service. So that's absolutely understandable. But that doesn't mean we can't thank you. You know, you've done it. You've taken the plunge. I hope this means the haircut as well. What I would say to AT&T, Warner Media, and hbomax, that narratively, actually, we were supposed to see David Ayer's vision of Suicide Squad before Zack Snyder's ultimate vision of Justice League. And I think that's the thing for me. And so, really, we need to see David Ayer's Suicide Squad before we actually see Zack Snyder's Justice League. So AT&T, you have done a tremendous thing. You have helped and made so many people happy by this, because I think it's very interesting, isn't it? I think that Zack Snyder is suited to a streaming service. I really do, where he's got this creative freedom. I think what's happened with the modern day theatrical kind of setup, cinematic releases, is they are just for mainstream audiences. The days are gone now for your Born and your 4th of Julys and your Casualty of Wars being in cinemas and being admired and adored. Those are the kind of films these days that you're going to get on streaming. And with streaming, I think Zack's perfect to continue his DC extended universe. Not only with his Snyder Cut, whether it's episodic or in a 4-hour movie form, that's going to be very interesting. In a lot of, I mean, the episodic thing would be better for hbomax, AT&T, and Warner Media, because people are going to be coming back every week and something brand new is going to hit and you can drag it out. As a film, very few people have got the time to sit there and watch a 4-hour movie. Some people have. I don't. I look after my disabled father. It's very, very difficult. Obviously, it was meant to be a film, but I do think this is the beginning of the Warner Max DC Extended Universe, or the portion of it, right? And this is what I said yesterday, that there's two sides of the DCEU now. The cinematic end, that's run by Walter Hamada, and they've got some great plans, and I'm excited about that. And then you could have all this. And on this other side, the Warner Max DC Extended Universe. And, you know, a lot of people were asking yesterday if Ben Affleck would be willing, or if AT&T would be willing to give him the platform to play Batman again. And I think they said something, whoever's willing to take the mantle, or whatever they said. They've been brilliant. AT&T have been absolutely fantastic, responding to fans. So it's one thing to do something to bring footfall, money and business and subscription to your service, but to do the consumer, pay the consumer the respect to actually say, hello, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to have some banter with you. I'm going to have a laugh with you. That's what we want to see. Nobody else does it. Netflix does it a little bit, but AT&T right now are taking it to another level. I believe that the Warner Max DC Extended Universe is a great idea. As I say, Zack Snyder's Justice League, David Ayer's Suicide Squad, and then some brand new original content. Very similar to what they're doing on Disney Plus with the MCU. But this is going to be hardcore. This is going to be Zack Snyder. Because we've said this before, Zack Snyder's Justice League isn't just going to have Zack Snyder DC fans, you know, getting that subscription ready. It's also going to have the intrigue. People have been hearing about Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, for a very, very long time. And so this is going to get a hell of a lot of more subscriptions than it ever was. It's a business decision. Of course it is. Henry Cavill. We're going to see this. We're going to see this brilliant scene. So can't wait for that. Sorry, I love that scene. And I get very emotional. So really, thank you, AT&T and Warner Media and HBO Max for doing this. It's absolutely fantastic. The only frustrating thing is about HBO Max. I'm outside of the US. I live in a little island of Cyprus in Europe, just around the Middle East. Beautiful holiday destination, but obviously I'm outside of America, so I can't have HBO Max. And this is very, very frustrating because I want HBO Max. That's going to be the spin-off company, by the way. But HBO Max, I want it on launch, and I can't have it. It's not fair. So if anyone from AT&T or HBO Max or Warner Media is watching, right, we're a team now, right? Find a way so I can have HBO Max at launch, please. I'll plug you even more. I'm plugging you already. Even without. Let's be clear here. I know people said, no, they don't have anything really to suck people in with. But let's be honest. They've got a hell of a lot of content on this. They've got everything nearly that Warner Brothers have ever made and are making. So it's a very exciting platform. And, if you grew up enjoying the Looney Tunes, you should watch that. There's lots of series from the DC Universe as well. And there's all the great movies they've made for the past 100 years. For crying out loud. It's a very exciting time. I definitely would subscribe. But we're getting the Snyder Cut. We're probably, hopefully, getting the Ayer cut. And hopefully there'll be documentaries about the DCEU, behind the scenes, things like that. So very, very worth doing. It's very rare these days, AT&T and Warner Media and HBO Max, for a company to say, look at each other and say, do you know what? If we give the paying customer what they demand and what they want, then the paying customer are going to admire us and respect us. And they're going to want to give us money. We don't have to do, adverts and hypnosis. Come to us with our subliminal messages. All we have to do is a good deed. And there's no lose here. Because what happened on November the 17th, it woke up the new ownership of Warner Brothers, Warner Media, AT&T, right? And they said, hang on a minute, people love this bloke. People want to see the Snyder Cut. They love Man of Steel, they love Batman v Superman, and they want to see more from this man. So maybe it didn't work out for him on, cinematically because the mainstream audience rejected what he did. But there's a bigger audience out there who will subscribe to us, who will watch streaming stuff that this guy does within the DCEU. We can do something here. Not only can we release the Snyder Cut and the Ayer cut, but we can create a Warner Max DC Extended Universe, as I keep on repeating. That's my prediction that's going to happen. So, Warner Media, AT&T, thank you very, very much. I'm going to plug your platforms all the time, every time I'm on Twitter. And come on, guys and girls, whoever's working over there, give me access to HBO Max. Come on. We're a team, as I say, please. I'm going to promote the hell out of you. And if you let me watch HBO Max, I'm going to come on here and promote the hell out of you. Now, I know I don't have many subscribers, but we can sort that out, right? So let's do this. So HBO Max, AT&T, Warner Media, thank you very much. John Stankey, Miss Sarnoff as well, who runs Warner Media now as well. Absolutely all of you. I have so much admiration. You opened up your ears, even when we were ringing you up when you first took over, and we were sending your people who were answering the phones, being polite to them, sending them flowers. I don't see how we're toxic by doing that, but anyway. So we started off on a good footing. We have a good relationship, and we are really grateful and excited. We're finally going to see Zach's vision, and I'm confident we're going to see David's vision as well. So thank you very much for that. Right, talking about the Ayer cut, this is David Ayer quote tweeting an article from Forbes saying the big financial reason why Warner Brothers should okay David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Interesting analysis, David Ayer says. We are in a period of incredible disruption, and today's fans are so sophisticated now and aware of process. SVOD providers who are Early adopters of this kind of alternative releasing will lead the pack. And he's right. Let's just click onto this article because I don't read Forbes. It's probably Mendelssohn. No, it's Travis Bean. Right, we'll read that in a minute. But I think he's right here. Because what Disney and Warner Media, of course, have got to remember, when Netflix started off, they were literally an online blockbuster video. That's all they were. That's all what they were doing, right? And as the more popular they got, all of a sudden, they started making their own content, buying more and more content up from other companies. And now, literally, most of the stuff that they stream is their own stuff. Now, obviously, companies like Warner Media are taking back their stuff for their streaming service, as are Disney and other companies and platforms as well, which is rightly so, right? So now they've got such a good reputation for making their own stuff. Now, the problem that Warner Media have and AT&T have, they want to become Netflix overnight, and so do Disney. Again, I don't blame them. So what they have to do, they have to have, in a way, a quick fix quickly while they're making their own stuff, because all this stuff takes time, and then there's COVID-19, which delays making original content even further. And so what David is saying, this is a really good idea. So let's see what Travis Bean has got to say. So, the big financial reason why Warner Brothers should okay David Ayer's Suicide Squad cut. Fans of Zack Snyder, fans of DC Comics, heck, fans of the superhero genre in general, are riding a huge high right now. After 2 years of incessant hashtags and tweets, Warner Brothers finally okayed Snyder's long-rumoured cut of Justice League that was effectively snuffed by the film studio back in 2017. Come 2021, we'll be able to stream the 4-hour movie TV series on hbomax, which is a huge win for the streaming service, mind you. So after the dust blew up from that 3-year battle to resurrect Snyder's original vision for the film, a new question naturally arose. Will David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad ever see the light of day? I want to preface this entire article with this statement. I sure hope so, but I'm cautious. Don't get me wrong, David Ayer is one of the few truly unique visionaries out there. He is. Don't forget this guy did Training Day. In the action crime thriller arena, there's nobody else like him stylistically. The colour of his set pieces, the intensity of his pacing, the vigour he extracts from his actors. Ayer's aesthetics is simply unmatched. But I can't deny the argument against releasing the Suicide Squad cut is sound. Simply, there isn't as much to be gained from re-releasing Suicide Squad as there is with re-releasing Zack Snyder's new edit. No, that's not true. There's a lot of stuff. That film was not his vision, just like the Justice League theatrical version wasn't Zack's vision. It's the same thing. Anyway, we'll talk about it after this. Despite making $655.9 million at the worldwide box office, Justice League was undoubtedly a financial failure on a budget of $300 million, but represents a paltry 2.19x rate of return. Compare that to Suicide Squad, which, despite its poor reception from critics and comic book fans when it released in 2016, churned out $736.8 million at the global box office on a budget of $175 million. That's a pretty respectable 4.26 times rate of return. And if you think I understand any of that, you're a better man than me, or woman than me. Basically, there's a lot more money to make up with Justice League. Snyder's film was supposed to be the DC Extended Universe's challenge to Marvel's Avengers franchise. And those 4 Avengers movies have grossed a combined, bloody hell, that's a lot of money. What's that? $7.757 billion at the international box office. So there's a lot more incentive for Warner Bros. To correct the ship and set their most prized possession on that kind of path. On the surface, that's not really the case with Suicide Squad. The Ayer film's 4.26 times rate of return isn't too far off from the Marvel Cinematic Universe's average per film rate of return of 4.99. The movie certainly could have been more successful, but it isn't the embarrassment that Justice League was, and it certainly isn't the centrepiece of the entire DCEU like the Justice League was. But then there's another way to think about all of those numbers. Yes, it makes financial sense why Warner Brothers would want to refuel their Justice League failure. But when you stretch the argument beyond Justice League and into the DCEU realm, you can start to see why it also makes sense financially to give Suicide Squad another chance. Avengers Endgame didn't become the highest grossing movie of all time by hapstance. Well, it was all part of a very calculated approach from the Marvel Disney team. Was it? Okay. For years, the studios have been crafting standalone films for their disparate superheroes that eventually merged into one beautiful whole. The final product was only successful because those studios took the time to ensure all of the seemingly insequential building blocks were in place first. But there's one huge advantage the DCEU has over the MCU, the edge, the grit, the charisma of its database of auteur directors. Exactly. David Ayer, Zack Snyder, Patty Jenkins, James Wan, Kathy Yan. They all have such distinct styles that allow their films to be more than just another piece of bigger whole. Where the Marvel movies can all blend together aesthetically, each DC film is uniquely its own entity. And that's why it's worth investing in Ayer's edit of Suicide Squad. Thanks to the Snyder Cut, the DCEU can compete with Marvel for the first time ever. Instead of apping the most profitable franchise of all time, Warner Bros. Can now break rules set by the MCU and build its own lucrative cinematic franchise, the most coveted prize in Hollywood. While that might not pay off immediately, the DCEU can now start to build its own identity as a cinematic franchise that's free from the reins of studio control. They can let their artists take over, which is what we all want. We saw that approach work for Warner Bros.' three most successful projects. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice seemingly went untouched from studio, and those films averaged $946 million at the worldwide box office, which is just under the MCU's per film average of $981.6 million. Important to understand now with Batman v Superman, mate. It was messed around with the theatrical cut, and it's only when it had a big drop-off they decided to get Zack to do his extended edition of Batman v Superman, his vision. That's the film we all watch now. The other one was cut by Warner Brothers, unfortunately. So they did try and mess with Zack's BVS, but in the end, it did make good money, yes. Brilliant film. Brilliant film. That goes without saying. Yes, some minor DC films like Birds of Prey and Shazam didn't perform quite as well at the box office, but even Marvel had some duds in the beginning. And the DCEU is very much in the beginning stages with its universe building. The MCU has churned out 23 films since 2008, including 9 over the past 3 years. Meanwhile, the DCEU only has 8 films under its belt, with an average of about 1 per year. So this isn't rock bottom for the DCEU. This is the jumping off point. This is correct. On top of it all, this is Warner Media's chance to kickstart HBO Max, just as the MCU is using Disney Plus to expand its cinematic realm. Warner Bros. Has a financial incentive to change its approach to its extended universe and flood HBO Max with DC content. A new study showed that people are much more likely to sign up for HBO Max because of its DCEU offerings than they would be for either Game of Thrones or Friends, although they are added incentives, certainly to me. The demand for a fresh cinematic universe is there. Warner Bros. Just needs to answer the call. They've already done it for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and now it's time to do it for David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Wow, brilliant. Travis, this is brilliant. Brilliant. I really like that article. One of the best articles I've ever read. I always say that, don't I? I really like good people putting out the facts, spreading them out, and being positive as well. Look, there is no reason whatsoever David Ayer's Suicide Squad shouldn't be released. A lot was cut. What we saw wasn't David's movie. David has said that on social media, on Twitter. So it's there. It's from, I don't want to call David a horse. He's a lovely looking man, right? But it's from the horse's mouth, right? And so basically, we need to see David Ayer's Suicide Squad before Zack Snyder's Justice League. Narratively, that's how the two films were made. There's so many linkings to Zack Snyder's Justice League. It would be ridiculous for us not to see this film first. So what I'm saying is we must see David Ayer's Suicide Squad on HBO Max before we see Zack Snyder's Justice League. AT&T, HBO Max, Warner Media. This is very, very important that you do this. Otherwise, narratively, it's going to make no sense. And it spoils a bit of enjoyment of the films. Now, hey, I don't care. In the end, if we get both films and they're in different orders, it's cool. I'm just saying, basically what Travis is saying here is what I've been saying for the past 3 or 4 editions of the DCEU Daily. DC Extended Universe cinematically, DC Extended Universe on Warner Max. Do you understand? Do you understand what's happening here? And they're going to do it. They understand now. They get it. This is new ownership. Ambitious, clever, intelligent, new ownership. What was going on before has gone on. It's finished. They are listening to the public. They've pinned their ears open and they get it. And it's extremely very exciting. So release the air cut. AT&T, I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it because, you know, it's good business sense and you're smart people. I just can't wait for the announcement. Very, very exciting. Very exciting indeed. Have I mentioned this already today? I don't know. I'm losing my mind anyway. We're going to go over it again anyway. Doesn't matter, does it? I don't think I have mentioned it. So, Tombstone MD asked David Ayer Movies this question. Your brother, was there supposed to be more of at Common Tattoo Man in the Suicide Squad? Question mark. Like, was his death fate or was he actually killed by the Joker? It's a long scene, David Ayer says, and Joker intimidated him into killing himself. So, you know, don't tell me, right, there's not new stuff. Basically, it's like Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's a completely new film, and we need to damn well see it. So we do need to hashtag release the air cut all the time. We can keep on thanking AT&T and Warner Media and HBO Max, and that's great, like I've done here at the beginning of today's DCEU Daily, and that's cool. And we should show them a hell of a lot of respect, but we also need to make them understand that their profits will keep on going up if they give us this as well. Look, it's not bullying, it's not toxic, it's just asking for something in a constructive, polite way, right? And I know, I want to talk about Andy Singmore, right, very quickly. The Fandom Wire guy, he's still going around trashing DCEU fans, Zack Snyder, DCEU fans, Snyder Cut, members of the movement, right? Look, it's pretty clear that if you know Andy at all, you'll know that this was a guy who lit the blue touch paper. He was one of the most intelligent, groundbreaking figures on the internet, right? He was with Screen Junkies. He'd done his own thing. Very clever guy, invented some great stuff. Now, I want to say something. Anyone who knows Andy, this is very important, because I'm not just a Zack Snyder DCEU fan. I'm also a human being. This lad is coming apart at the seams. And he really does need his family or his friends or his former colleagues to really have an intervention and get him the help he needs. Because whatever happened to him, for him to lose his career, to lose the high position that he had, is affecting him mentally. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm concerned about a fellow human being. You need to intervene. You need to get him help. I'm not here to attack Andy. And I have been critical of him, but it's pretty clear he has very deep issues that need attention straight away. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Yes, Zach, I think this is going to be fun, isn't it? Now, do you remember when Zach teased us with this character and this actor? He is in the Snyder Cut. He's in Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? Now, I think he plays a version of the Atom. Now, in the comics. So, I forgot the character's name or even the actor's name, but sorry about that. But basically, yes, he's a version of the Atom in the comics. So, this is a very exciting thing. This is something else to cut out of this movie. It's amazing how many things Zack has put in his version of Justice League. It's unbelievable. Now, right, let's get some things straight here, because already the clickbait access media are having a really good time. So there's a big, multiple articles saying Justice League cast will not go back for reshoots. Right, very few actors actually need to go back for reshoots, right? Now, we know that Ben's Batman was supposed to sacrifice himself, but I think ultimately that would have been in Justice League 2 or 3. So that doesn't have to happen. I got a bit confused about that. I might have kind of got you lot confused about that. So Ben, I don't think, has to go back and do anything. I don't think Gal needs to go back and do anything. I'm not sure about Henry. I think things were shot with the black suit. They may want to go back and give him the mullet. I don't know. But it looks like those actors are not going back. But again, this is not big news. This is not a negative news. They're just trying to get you in, suck you in. My opinion is Access Media tried to kill Zack Snyder's Justice League and Zack Snyder's DCEU. Don't give them the click. Don't give them the views. We've got a great relationship with Zack. No fandom has got the kind of relationship that we have with a creative. All we have to go is go onto Vero, ask Zack, and he will tell us the truth. Somebody asked him if there's a Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer coming. He said, I'm working on it. That's all you need to do. He will reply to you if he's available on the streaming, on the social media platform, right? It's fantastic. You can trust Zack. We have got the information. We do not need Access Media. And I'm just imagining what this trailer is going to be. It's going to be totally awesome, totally epic. Please, Zack, about 3 to 6 minutes long. Please, please, give us something to 2021. Imagine if it was that long, though. That would be awesome. And show us not everything, but really, really tease us. It's going to be amazing. And finally today, I want to discuss Ben Affleck's Batman. This is a very important subject to me. There was no one more devastated when that was taken away from him. And they damaged him in Joss Whedon's Justice League as much as they did Superman. They watered him down. There were some good little moments with him and Diana, I must admit. And he was still a great Batman in it, by the way, but not the Batman he's going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the Batman he would have been in Ben Affleck's The Batman, the one with Deathstroke. It was going to be an amazing film. Ben was so excited when he did that Deathstroke tease and everything. So the question has been put to AT&T, and everyone's asking it now, can Ben Affleck come back as Batman? Right, first of all, I know I'm boring you about this. You don't have to sack Robert Pattinson, right? Oh, my God. Or is it Comic Book Cast 2? Oh, my God. They were saying breaking news that Robert Pattinson's been sacked and Ben Affleck's back. This was an old rumour article from ages ago. You don't have to sack poor Robert Pattinson, right, to get back Ben Affleck, right? I've said it. I'll say it again. DCEU Cinematic... Warner Max on this side, HBO Max side of the DCEU. That side. Ben Affleck will be hit with Henry Cavill, as we can see behind me right now, will be with Henry Cavill on the Warner Max side of the DCEU. Right, so it's all there. It can be done. Zack wants to do it. AT&T want to do it. HBO Max want to do it. And Warner Media almost certainly want to do this because they know there's a fandom. There's money to be made from this. And them as a company understand that now. So we have to see what happens in the future. My opinion of this is it's up to Ben. Ben went through such a horrible experience. And it was with his illness, alcoholism. He went through a really bad time. It was around that time of BVS as well. And then the way he was treated as well couldn't have helped his condition. The media, Access Media, were very cruel to him, and a lot of fans were cruel to him as well. So, a lot of bad memories. But this could really be a big moment for Ben Affleck and his Batman, because there are stories to tell for him. Because we don't know who Robert Pattinson's Batman is. Is he a rebooted Batman, or is he Batfleck when he was younger? If it's Batfleck when he was younger, it all makes sense, and it's good, it's continuity. If it's not, I don't get it, I enjoy it, because I think Matt Reeves is going to give us a great vision. But I think it makes more narrative sense if Robert Pattinson is actually a younger Batfleck. But we'll see about that. So there's definitely a scope, and I think that Zack's gagging to do it, of course. But, of course, Zack can be an executive producer on any kind of Ben Affleck Batman movie they do on HBO Max. But Ben Affleck is now in the position to write and direct and make his own Batman movie, like he always should, right? We can have him on this side of the DC Extended Universe as the older Batman, right? And we can have Robert Pattinson on the DCEU cinematic, theatrical side of the DC Extended Universe playing the younger Batman, right? You know, the Batman that's going to get all the young fans in, right? It makes sense. It's smart. So I think the companies, the power that hold the keys to this, will want to do this, but it's entirely up to Ben. But if I was Ben, I would do it because he's going to have a good... This time, he's going to have the support structure. No one's going to mess with Zack again. Zack will be there looking after him. all the good people who were there with him before as well. I think it's an opportunity that can't be missed. This has to happen. We need to have that side of the DCEU and that side of the DCEU. And that's what I'm predicting, because these people are smart people. But what do you think, everyone? Are we still partying because we're getting Zack Snyder's Justice League? As I said, best week ever. Amazing. Unprecedented. I can't stop smiling. It's amazing. It has been an amazing week, and it just makes me want to go on Twitter. I wish I had better internet, so I could make more videos and connect with you throughout the day. But unfortunately, like, this is a 30-minute video. This is going to take probably 6 or 7 hours to upload. It's ridiculous, right? And I can't get stronger internet right now. There's problems with the internet over here in Cyprus, especially in the village I'm in. So I'm kind of just outside Ayia Napa. So anyway, right, problem is I think most of the people watching my videos, most of my subscribers are from America. So you probably haven't heard of Cyprus. Anyway, comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. And don't forget, I'm here every day with the DCEU Daily, continuing this celebration, pushing for David Ayer's cut of the Suicide Squad, and talking about and predicting about the future of the DCEU. And just remember, clickbait articles, ignore them. We know that most of the actors are not going to come back to do any reshoot because there's no need. Some actors will come back. And some people will be lending their voice notes as well, their voice tracks as well. So it's all positive. It's all good. See you again tomorrow.